Thanks to RJ for asking me, hey, what's new? So, Home Depot, the orderly swing trading, managed in the usual way. It's also a frog champion, meaning that it has large moves intraday that are directional. So when it has both of those things, it's a frog champion. Wynn, W-Y-N-N, the casinos, Brazil, Mexico, Caterpillar, the Russell 2000, all frog champions. I'll give you a chart that has all that listed out. It's probably in the stack. So what do I do when I don't know what to do? Go to the champions.
How often do you look at the charts to update or refresh which ones are frog champions or which ones are
About once a year.
Once a year? Okay.
Question? Oh yeah, so the question was, how often do I refresh the list of frog champions? Every 1 or 2 years. So the official list of frog champions came out from a weekend research workshop in Kansas City about 4 years ago. Tony DeQuick, who has a brain as large as the universe and which operates at the speed of light, took the frog rules and all the permutations and took every stock in the New York Stock Exchange for the last 30 years, downloaded all the tick data, and ran about 300 different combinations of frog rule sets over a 30-year period for all those symbols. He uploaded that virtual machine into the cloud so it could work at warp speed and then reported out. These were the things that worked the best. It turns out that the hybrid frog on Frog Champions works the best. And so they were persistent winners, and you could actually make some tweaks to the mechanical frog systems that would only improve your numbers and allowed you to use a little discretionary judgment in how to manage the trades. But if you didn't even do that, if you just auto-programmed the frog rules, it's like having a coin flip that pays you 3 to 2. So 50% win rate. When you win, you win 3. When you lose 2. Now, how many times a day do you want to play that game? As many as I can. That's what you would do. And you can get better than that by tweaking some of the rule sets. And we're going to do an exercise called Build a Frog, where we're going to study the basic frog rules, but we're going to show how you could make sensible adaptations to that frog rule set. So when I do the live trading workshops here and out in Kansas City, I like to start the first 30 minutes with nothing on my screen except price and a hybrid frog box and frog boxes and range stats and just, well, you remember that. We just trade and they lift the box, add one, stop and reverse, and just trading with a simple, these little bricks. And it's a throwback to probably the first book I ever read in retrospect on How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market by Nick Darvis, the dancer in the 30s, who was using telegraphs and phone calls to trade with his broker on prices he was seeing in newspapers while he was an internationally acclaimed dancer. So he developed a little system of price and or support and resistance boxes and used that to figure out what was happening. And so that has probably always stuck in my mind. That's probably 55 years ago I read that. And it always kind of stuck with me at some DNA level. So the Darvis boxes, there's a lot. When you see me do the look back periods in the 10-day box and the 30-day box, is I acknowledge that that's where that's coming from. And until proven otherwise, it's a pretty good rule of thumb. It's like a carpenter using his little levels and a thick pencil to mark things up. You know, I measure with a micrometer, mark with a crayon, and cut with an axe. You know, so that's sort of the level of precision I'm at. So the Frog Champions come out of the annual research weekend, and I send Tony an email every year. Says, "Hey, any change?" He says, "Nope." So they are what they are. Now I'll add to them based on inspection. When this thing looks like it's behaving well, then we can pretty quickly add to that list. But the official ones that are on that list come from his exhaustive research, and it was amazing. And I'm so glad that we recorded that and have his combinations and permutations in the archives of the research weekend for that year, along with about the 200 presentations we've done over the last 10 years that we've been doing that, with videos and Q&A and the rule sets and insights. That's a pretty good resource, available to gold subscribers for as long as you are a member in good standing. So that would be something to consider. You got to consider coming out there sometime. A lot of fun. Good barbecue and good people. So that's the answer on Frog Champions. So my walking away knowledge on this one is that to be a good day trader, to me, means that you are getting information from the swing trade time frames to influence the trade frames you're making as a day trader. And if you're a good day trader, sometimes those things just keep working, and you can be pushing money out to the swing trade. So a good swing trade could have started off as a day trade in one direction. It kept going and kept going, and you just keep a little piece, and the thing evolves into a swing trade and evolves into a position trade, and then the monthly system comes around and says, hey, this is a relative strength winner, and you ought to start buying it now. And you say, yeah, well, I've been into this thing already, and I got markets money, and now you're moving money out of the turbocharged engine towards the freight train carrying things cross country to deliver coals to Newcastle. So that's core and turbo, the concept, the relationship between day trading and swing trading and core position trading. I believe the right way to start trading is to be a swing trader so that you can dial down and improve swing trades in the day trade time frame and use day trading to hedge your swings. And then you can also use those to build longer term positions and hedge the longer term position allocation. So to me, swing trading is the sweet spot between longer term core and shorter term day. And then there is so you could be a pure day trader, you could be a pure swing trader, you could be a pure long-term trader. I also believe you could be a hybrid where you're using a combination of swing and day in a sensible way. So those are kind of like the three, on the shorter time frame, those are like the three buckets that I see. Pure day, pure swing, and then a hybrid trader. So I could be trading on a 30-minute chart, and I might be, in that mindset, a very, very slow day trader. I was using 1 minute and I dialed up and it was working, and I looked at it on a 30-minute chart to see how it was progressing. So I'm a very slow day trader if I'm doing a 30-minute chart. But I might also have been a very fast swing trader. I had, daily and weekly charts and migrated down to the 2 hours and the 1 hour and the 30 minutes to find those nice turning points in the midday. Say, that could be the actual turning point for the swing trade. And I could start with a small position and build that up and then hold a piece overnight and get a price improvement with markets money. And so if I'm in the 2 hour to 30-minute time window, I think of that as a hybrid time frame. I could either be a slow day trader or a fast swing trader or some combination of the both. So day trade can give information to the swing trade, and the swing trade can give information to the day trader. And having some proficiency in that transitional state is useful. So to simplify my life, I put indicators on the screen that are fractal so I can see what's happening on the longer term time frames on my tactical chart. So after the break, at some point this weekend, when we talk about the regression lines, the 10, 30, 90, 270, all of those are multiples of 3. And so if I just go from minute charts to 3-minute charts, the 30 and 90 on the 1-minute chart is the 30 and 10 on the 3-minute chart. And the 270 and 90 is the 30 and 10 on the hourly charts or something like that. So you get these multiples. I can now see what's going on different time frames, but just on one screen. And that turns out to be a pretty powerful fractal idea, because I'm going to show you how we can set up trade frames using just those 4 regression lines, using monthly charts down to minute charts. And the interpretation is exactly the same.